Hi, everyone. We're at the Metals Investor Forum in Vancouver, and I am with Andrew Pollard, who is the president and CEO of Blackrock Silver. Andrew, thank you so much for being with us.
Another year, another Metals Investor Forum. Here we are.
That's right. Exciting times. $103 silver.
I feel like $100. Yeah.
So should it be. Absolutely. A lot has been happening with Blackrock. It's been a stellar year, 2025. Why don't we start with that? Why has it been so outstanding? Fill us in.
It's been, honestly, it's been incredible. We made our discovery 5 years ago, I guess, and we've walked it forward all the way along. But what's so crazy is that, like, finally, it was just last year that the deposit took enough shape and it hit critical mass right at a time when people gave a damn. We're the highest grade story in the industry. We're developing it. Trump came in, and whether you like him or you don't, like, as an American company, they're so devoted to just jumpstarting domestic production. And in terms of silver companies that can break ground and get it permitted and developed during his administration, it's a universe of one. It's just us. There's not that many silver dominant projects out there in the world, especially at our stage. And the grades, the size, like, we've been answering the unanswered questions for the last year, and all of a sudden, like 2 years ago at this conference, I felt like a crazy person. I felt like I needed a bulletproof vest,
Right.
but because, like, I could see what we were doing, but no one believed me. And all of a sudden, last year a little better. This year, all of a sudden, we won OTC Top 50. We're one of the top performers. We're getting this thing permitted. This is going to be one of the biggest silver mines in America in terms of production. Easily one of the lowest cost silver mines in the world when all is said and done. And we're well on our way to getting this thing permitted. So it's been incredible.
And at a time when silver has been considered a critical mineral in the U.S., first time ever.
When we took this project over, it was March of 2020. Silver was sold down to $12. That was the week that I signed this on.
Right.
And I've been told in hindsight that there were some major mining companies that wanted this project, but they couldn't get down to the project.
Wow.
Because they had to, travel was shut down.
Sure.
Well, we didn't have that sort of limitations here at Blackrock Silver. We signed the deal, others didn't, and we hit on our first drill hole. And yeah, it's been an amazing, like, fairy tale since. $12 to $100, from something that sounded too good to be true to something that's almost predictive in terms of how we're growing it out. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's been an amazing ride. It certainly hasn't been a straight line.
Sure.
I wish it was. I'd have more hair in my head, but I wouldn't have traded any of it.
Fantastic. It's been quite the project to watch progress and flourish. I can certainly speak to that personally.
You've been in it since nearly the very beginning.
Yeah.
Brian London has you beat by about 6 months, but yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Tell us, what are some of the company-specific catalysts that we should look for in 2026?
It's like, I couldn't have painted this sort of picture better, because not only, silver just broke out $100, gold's breaking out $5,000. We're coming out with not only a brand new resource estimate, but we're coming out with a brand new PEA in about 6 weeks' time. It's not only that, but we're going to be permitting this thing. So, we are permitting it. So in 6 weeks or less, by the end of March, by the end of Q1, we're going to have not only a bigger, better resource, but we're going to have a bigger, better project. And I'll tell you some things that, like, maybe people don't know, but I'm not going to get arrested for. Our last PEA showed us having a production profile based off of a 1,500 ton per day mill. So it was going to average about 8.6 million silver equivalent ounces per year. We've had so much success on the drill since that came out that we're now looking at not only adding mine life, but we're looking at increasing the throughput. Wow. So it might be an 1,800, it might be a 2,000. We're doing all those trade-off studies internally.
Sure.
And my people are smart enough to keep me like walled off from all that. But all I know is like it could be bigger, it could be bigger. The bigger the mining project, the lower the costs tend to be and the more attractive something gets. But even at that old production profile, there's nothing like this in the world.
No
and
kidding.
Being in America, right? Like
Yep.
We're on private land in Nevada. We're 3 hours outside of Vegas and 4 hours from Reno.
And valued at so much lower prices.
There's no upside baked into our resource growth, our mine life growth, or our production profile growth yet.
Exactly.
That's where you come in.
All right. What are some of the fundamental catalysts that are going to support and drive more value creation as we go forward?
You know what's very nice about Robert Friedland has a term. He says, "I've been with something from womb to tomb," and I've been from this, been with this from womb to not quite tomb,
right?
Because there's not quite an outcome yet, but from the very early stages. And for us, what we're doing is like we've advanced this project from discovery hole to resource to PEA to permitting in the span of about 5 years. What's amazing about this is that it's a standout asset in the industry. The catalysts we're fully funded. I just raised $15 million, half of which came from Eric Spot. The other half came from a new investor, which was the largest single order we've ever had as a company. The side benefit of that deal was that I got to keep my lawyers working overtime on Christmas Eve because that's when we announced it. So it made me happy.
I bet.
And we've got all this war money. So we've got like $25 million in working capital. What we're trying to do now is like, we're not a drill hole story. We're not a mineral inventory. I don't care if something hits or it doesn't. We've got a real asset.
Exactly.
All we're trying to do is we're killing time between now and when we get our permit, and that's not going to be all that long. This time next year, we're going to have a bigger, better resource. We're going to have a bigger, better production profile because we are going to raise the throughput ratio. And it's going to be permitted. This time next year, it's not going to be geos smoking cigarettes. It's going to be engineers wearing hard hats and big yellow trucks coming up into the site. And that's going to be something very special. The big idea is, you don't need to get technical. The big idea is this is going to be one of the top 4 largest silver producers in America. And it's easily going to be the lowest cost silver producer in America and probably the lowest in the world, if not maybe neck and neck with Juanicipio. That's it.
Amazing. That's exciting stuff to look forward to. You're cashed up. You've mentioned that more money is likely to flow in. Maybe you can speak to that a little bit, because I remember you explaining how you didn't have to go back to market.
It's been amazing because I've been with this since, we were a sub-million. It was $800,000 market cap when I came in. And, even when we went on a bit of a ride, we might have been 5 or 6 million. And when we got this asset, no one really believed it because it sounded too good to be true. And I've been the whole gamut from having to raise, $3-4 million, which is about as much as it costs to fund this very, very small drill program, to now where every banker in the world is offering you bought deals, and then you're turning them down. And then they're saying, well, why were you doing this? And then they're saying, you're a crazy person. And then they're saying, you don't know. And they're going to come after you. Right. Like it's been the whole gamut from people not wanting to touch you to saying you're nuts. And I kind of enjoy that. It's
Good.
sort of, there is no science to it. It's an art.
Absolutely.
And I don't know. I've been having fun.
It's fun to be on the other side of it, where you get to call the shots more.
When it works out, it's
Yes,
fun.
exactly.
Sometimes when it doesn't, I'll tell you
Absolutely.
what. Yeah, but it's funny when the bankers are very nice to you, and then they say, "Well, why are you doing this?" And I'm like, "Well, I think actually our stock's going to go, or I think
Right.
silver's going to rip." And they're like, "Well, you're crazy." And then a week goes by, 2 weeks go by. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you've lost. No one's going to work with you again. And then all of a sudden, December 24th, we, screwed everyone. I did a non-brokered private placement with two people. And guess what happened? All the bankers who were playing games with their stock, they got, the tide came out. And then our stock ripped on the back of the
There you go.
financing. So
There you go. Amazing story. We're excited to watch how this continues to progress. It's been quite the ride, and expecting to see a lot of great things that happen in this year as well.
it's only just begun.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Andrew. Appreciate it.